I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today, I just wanted to talk to you real quick about meltdowns. You know what I'm talking about. It isn't those kind of run-of-the-mill tantrums. I'm talking about those really intense meltdowns, the ones where the thinking part of the brain can't even be used because the emotions are just too intense. I used to feel so helpless in those moments. I didn't know what to do, and it seemed like everything I tried was just making things worse. So here are 5 tips that you can use the next time your child's ADHD based nervous system goes into this meltdown mode. The first is, and I cannot emphasize this enough, do not yell. I know your instinct is going to tell you to talk louder so that pay attention to what you're saying, so you can get over whatever situation they're, whatever yelling and crying they're doing, or your own anger and frustration take over and you'll just want to yell back to try to calm the situation down. But this is probably one of the worst things you can do, actually. Because remember, that thinking part of their brain is just not working in that moment. So it doesn't matter how loudly you talk, they literally will not be able to understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And worse, they'll feel your anger and your frustration. So not only will the meltdown not stop, you're likely just to make it worse or make them more combative. So do not, under any circumstances, yell. The second tip I've got for you is drop your judgment of the whole situation. To you, this reaction might seem extreme, and you may totally disagree with the fact that they're even this upset in the first place, much less having this extreme breakdown over whatever the situation is, right? But frankly, in this moment, your opinion does not matter. The only thing that matters is like what's going on with your kid and in their brain and with their emotions. So instead of judging whether or not they're right or wrong in their reaction, just accept the fact that they're having a really hard time. And that's all you have to do. Just stop there. The third thing is validate their feelings. I'm not saying that you have to agree with or do anything to encourage whatever action they're taking at that moment. When I say validate their feelings, it's more like, I understand that you're angry. Everyone gets angry and you have the right to feel that way. And then once he or she calms down, then you can have a conversation about alternative ways to handle things the next time they're this upset. But in that moment, all they need to hear is that they're allowed to feel whatever it is they're feeling. So go from that route, like, sometimes just see things, okay, I'm sorry you're mad, or it's okay that you're mad, or something like that. Just validate the feelings, even if you don't feel comfortable or don't want to validate the actions. Another thing I would recommend is respect their personal space. If you're like me, the first thing I always want to do when my kid's upset is to step in and like do something, right? Take an action, whether that's a hug or hand him a tissue or hold his hand or whatever it is. And if they initiate or ask for that, then great, go ahead and go with it. But if they don't, just give them the physical space that they need at the time. Again, remember, at this point, they're not thinking clearly or even at all. So give them the physical space that they need to process their whatever's going on in their head or whatever they're feeling at the moment. Now, once they calm down, they offer all the hugs and kisses you want, right? Once their nervous system is back down and they're not in the middle of this meltdown mode. But in the meantime, just respect their personal space. And the last thing I'm going to offer is probably the most powerful one that I ended up learning. When my son was younger and having these meltdowns, right? At one point, I just stopped. Like I didn't do anything because I didn't understand it. It seemed like everything I was doing was making it worse. And I found that silence is the most powerful step you can take in the middle of these meltdowns. I would sit or stand just a few feet away and say nothing. Not yes, not no, not calm down, not even I love you as much as I wanted to, right? I would just sit there in silence. This worked so well because in those moments, he was looking for a place to direct his anger or his upsettedness, if that's a word. So anything I said or did was just one more thing he could add to whatever wrong thing he felt was going on in the first place. And so the episode would last that much longer and, get that much worse. But just by keeping quiet and letting his emotions play out however he needed them to play out, he was able to calm down faster and get back to a point to where we could actually have a rational conversation and move forward from that space. But really and truly silence. Don't say anything. Don't think anything. Don't interfere. Don't do anything. Just sit back, give him some space, and you'll see how quickly it'll go away when you don't respond at all. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you want more tips and tricks or just curious about who I am and what I do, you can subscribe. I have a YouTube channel. And once you subscribe, that way you can be notified when I post other videos like this. You can also get a lot more goodies in my member vault. I'll put those links in the comments. Just make sure that if once you sign up, you check your junk mail so that you can stay up to date on everything and it doesn't kind of get pushed to the side. And please feel free to share this with anyone you know that might be interested. Talk to you soon. Bye.